All right, so this is day 15 of starting a bakery in Chicago, and today my architect's coming over. I think we're going over plans. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we looked over. Sorry, that was a woman staring at me. We looked over like the space. He took measurements. I think this week we're coming back. He's gonna have some drawings for me. And then we also have some plumbing going on in the basement, just because we need to just tidy up some stuff before we actually get started. So yeah.
The layout is in the direction very much that we thought it would be.
Okay.
So one big constraint is like this natural divide, right, between front of house and back of the house with the ceiling. The tin ceiling's beautiful. We want to keep it. This is all like a little bit of an awkward condition, and then there's no cornice on this side or that side.
What's a cornice?
The cornice is it's the crown molding basically.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the pressed tin, right? Crown molding there.
Okay.
And so on this side, there's not any of that either. And one thing I would like us to do is to poke a hole in that drywall at some point sooner rather than later.
Like that vent-looking thing?
The bump out, yes.
Okay.
Because I'm a little unclear what it is.
Okay.
It's probably hiding some heating, cooling, but it could also just be that the crown molding was damaged on that side, and they drywalled over the gap. That's kind of what I'm hoping.
Okay.
But in any case, the tin ceiling is beautiful. I think it's worth keeping. We might clean up that crown molding. They make similar stuff. We can,
just put right on.
Yeah, you can still buy that. Then the other big constraint is that all of our plumbing is along this east wall. So anything that's wet needs to be over here. The bathroom needs to go entirely.
Really?
As reviewing the code, I thought that this might be the case, but we have to provide an accessible bathroom. So that means that we need a much larger bathroom. Same amount of fixtures. And I was trying to look to see if we could, keep what's existing in some way. But I think we're and kind of be grandfathered in, but we're kind of doing too much work for that to be the case.
Okay. So how does ADA work? Because we have obviously like steps there.
So what we're required to do is to be accessible to the extent technically feasible.
That makes sense. All right. That makes sense.
We basically are kind of required to have accessible routes.
Okay.
But it's not technically feasible to move that step in any meaningful way. So we simply will not, but it'll be accessible from there on up. And usually a wheelchair user can navigate one step like that without too much trouble. I also know some businesses have like a ramp that they can bring out or something like that. And then also for employees too. Although work areas are not required to be like, they're required to have like accessible clearances and doorways, but it's not like, the work tables can be work tables and however you want it to be. So those are the big things that were kind of on my mind as I was designing. Now we have the fun stuff, the drawings.
Okay. So we're done with the layout.
We'll shift to the drawings and and then there'll probably be some more pointing and waving.
Okay. Because I feel like I saw something really cool online about like a certain way counters worked. Like we're like a certain bakery had like a different shape of a counter. I was like, that's interesting. So let's let's
let's see what we there's dust on them, which means that air has been
sucked in.
So those are both returns.
Okay.
So we'll have to figure out something about that, but we should be able to do that.
Because we don't want those there.
We don't want those there. Well, right now, I mean, like this, we're just kind of bumping out this element, which is good actually because it might give us a little bit more room for the returns. But also, I don't know that we want the returns in the kitchen necessarily, because they would be taking in all the kitchen smells. But maybe that's not a bad thing. Recirculating bakery smells throughout the whole building.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, maybe it's not the worst thing, but I also just need to double check if there's any rules about that.
Okay.
Or we would need to figure out how to get a return in this space somehow, in a way that's aesthetically pleasing, which is a solvable problem. And then we've got some of those, like the ducts along
The
here.
floor.
There's some, let's do that one. There'll be some relocation work.
Not
a big deal.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we've got plenty of room. Even if we have to run some plumbing under the joists, like this, we've got plenty of ceiling height here. But everything is coming down here, and then. So I wonder where the kitchen drains are coming down. Where's the stack from the upstairs kitchens?
Has to be on this wall.
Has to be on this wall.
Right?
Yeah, it's got to be that. This is for the toilet. That's the toilet. And then that must be the sink. So that's the stack for the main building, which means that there's going to be. Let me grab my. Actually, just do it fashion style.
I'm going to grab it somewhere.
Yeah, will you run that all the way to the...
Do you want me to do it through this?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great.
Oh.
Perfect. How many feet, give or take, are you there?
1, 3.
3?
So it's like almost 30, or what is that? 25?
28, yeah.
28.
And then that's the other mystery too. Where's the front of the building?
This right here.
Yeah. So wait, if we got, so is that's the duct for right in front here.
Yes.
This is where the step or the door is.
Yeah, that's what I would assume.
So then, and that is like to here, right? We can run it again.
More or less.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we'll say that that's